Are you the leader of the pack at home? We need leaders everywhere. We need godly leaders in the church, in community, in government, in our school, in our workplaces.
I think the reason we don't have leaders in our world is because we don't do good leading at home. We need to establish leadership.
God establishes leadership.
Yeah, He does.
Yeah, it's not just something that we're saying this needs to happen. It's not just our great idea. God calls us to be leaders.
Your home, it matters. You're there to make a difference. Well, welcome to Home Matters.
I was about to say, I thought you said you were starting.
Welcome to Home Matters.
He said he was starting and then he did it.
You're welcome to podcast number 192.
I know, we're 8 away from 200.
Here we are in March too. How about that?
Ooh, I can't believe it.
March showers bring...
April
March
showers.
winds bring April showers.
April showers bring
May flowers.
March
so
winds.
Here we in March.
I don't think you connect that to April showers.
I did.
I mean, I don't think you're supposed to.
That's
but
not
anyway.
our subject for today.
No, that's not our subject.
And we want to welcome you and hope you reach out to others and encourage them because, boy, this is so huge.
Our topic today?
Yes, for Home Matters,
huge.
it is so huge because
I think it's huge.
Yeah, it's something that is desperately needed in our day.
In our homes.
Everywhere. It starts at home always,
that's
right?
true. But we
everywhere.
need leaders, right? And the topic today is are you the leader of the pack? You know, what's wrong?
You got something on your shirt.
Fuzz. You just threw it on the floor. You littered. Are you the leader of the pack at home? And I know you said we need leaders everywhere. We need godly leaders in the church, in community, in government, in our schools, in our workplaces.
I think the reason we don't have leaders in our world, in our civic, in our communities, is because we don't do good leading at home.
Yes, everything starts
that sounds
home.
like, I'm such a pessimist and a naysayer and so negative.
You're really
I'm just
not.
saying, I think there's a void in leadership in the world we're in today. Mm-hmm. And I think you can look around us and say, hey, where do we look? And it's kind of like the masses, like sheep led to the slaughter. There's nobody. Mm-hmm. It's the blind leading the blind.
Yeah.
And Jesus made that clear. But again, we're just saying that somewhere in our homes, I think we need to establish leadership.
God establishes leadership.
Yeah, He does.
Yeah, it's not just something that, we're saying this needs to happen. It's not just, our great idea. God calls us to be leaders. The man is to be the servant leader in the home.
Yeah. Right?
Parents, you are to be leading your children. God gives us godly leaders in the church that we should be able to follow. And no matter, where you are on maybe the leadership pole or whatever, you are leading somebody. The leadership ladder.
There you go.
I'm just saying, we can discount ourselves and be like, well, I'm not really in a place of leadership. Oh, yes, you are. You are leading in your home before you lead anywhere else.
Yeah. That's the old thing that I think John Maxwell coined and made popular as much as anything when he said leadership is influence.
Yeah.
And the level or the amount of influence you have, that is something that we need. And boy, we need that in homes. It's, that alpha male kind of view of the leader of the pack, that, that whole pack is influenced by that main lead
by the leader.
Dog. But again, the fact is we need some lead dogs
lead wolf,
in our home.
Wasn't that it?
Yeah, and it's not just that we're saying, man, you got to be the alpha. Listen, leadership looks different for us as followers of Jesus anyway. It is servant leadership.
Right.
But man, what influence can we have by leading, by serving? And again, giving our lives like Jesus did. He lived his life in such a way, the greatest influencer that ever lived by far. And it's not even close that Jesus, all of history that we know hinges on this one figure. and that is this man, this God named Jesus. And again, when we realize that, man, and he came to give himself and to serve. He said, the greatest is the servant of all. He said, if I didn't come to be served, why would you want to be served? He said, I came to serve and give my life away as a ransom. So in that example, again,
what
scripturally,
an example.
It's very plain. Paul said in 1 Corinthians 11, he said, come on and follow me. As I follow Christ, as I follow Jesus.
What a bold statement.
Yeah.
You know, even in our homes, how many of us are confident enough in the leader that God's called us to be and in the position, the place that he's given us, that we would say that? I mean, most of us don't want to say that out in public for sure, but how many of us are even willing to say that at home? Yeah. Hey, you can follow my attitude. Wow. You can follow the way I serve. You can follow the way I forgive. You can follow the way I love. God help us, right? To be able to walk into that, to step into that, and really to forge the way so that we are influential in leading those that God has given us to lead.
Yeah, and it's more than a title, right?
Absolutely.
Again, mom, dad, you know, grandfather, grandmother. All those are great titles, and we hope that all of those. But beyond that, again, it's more than a title. Just because I'm the dad, just because I'm the father in the house, doesn't mean that I'm the leader.
That's right.
I've seen a lot of homes that are led by kids.
Absolutely.
And, again,
more than need to be for sure, right?
Yeah, and that's the scary thing. Again, if we're so passive in our leadership that our children are influencing all of what we do, all our decisions, all our schedules, and everything rotates. Again, somewhere or another, you got to realize that you're there to set the pace, to lead, to create the direction for a family. And again, we just encourage that, because again, in our homes, I think that again, the question is, are we willing to take the weight?
That's right, the weight of it, the responsibility.
Yeah.
Right, and here's the raw truth. There is a leader of the pack in your home.
There's an alpha there either way.
There is.
And it could be a 3-year-old.
It could be a 3-year-old. It could be an infant. It could be a 7-year-old, with an attitude. So somebody is leading the pack. But here's the deal. If you are the adult in that home, if you are the mother, the father, the grandparent, the single parent, God has set you in that place.
Yeah.
Right? He has given you that authority.
I've told parents through the years, you're a lot smarter, you're a lot wiser than your kids. Your
kids will make you think you're pretty dumb sometimes.
But again,
especially the middle schoolers. Anybody out there got a middle schooler?
I had kids that, and the bad thing is you actually begin to think they're smarter sometimes.
That's so true.
And they talk you into or talk you out of. And, but again, there has to come a place where
talking middle schooler, right?
Yeah, where the buck stops here.
That's right.
And there are places that you don't bend, you don't move, you don't veer from, you don't, because again, there's that sense of knowing in you that you live by the pace that God has put in you.
Yeah, and we say this a lot of times too, but there are no days off.
No.
You're the leader of the pack, period. 365. Right? Every day of the year. Like, unfortunately, you can't, present your parenting card for a day off today and say, all right, somebody else. So there are no days off. There are no shortcuts. It is your highest calling. Listen, above the place in society that you've been given, or maybe even the title you've been given, the place at work, whatever, all the little letters you have after your name because of all your degrees. This is your highest calling in your home.
Yeah.
Come on, as a parent, husband, wife, whatever that role is, that is your highest calling, that you step up and you lead. And again, it is servant leadership. It's not, hey, I put on the shirt that says I'm the leader of the pack. It's that I'm leading every day in my actions, in my way, in my language.
I think it develops in so many ways, not only our lives, but even those we're given charge over, given responsibility for. I hope that growing up, I hope my kids were developed as leaders, that they did not, they always heard that little thing. I'd ask them, anybody can follow, anybody can follow, because I did not want them to just fall into the masses and just whatever the flow of the world around them is doing, they just go with it. I do believe that you have to be very intentional in leading that and developing that, not only in your own life, but realize the responsibility as the leader in my home, the responsibility I have to develop that with
to develop other leaders.
With other leaders, right?
Yeah, children, and them understanding. I think
other people that you're even connected with, family-wise, or in a community.
Yeah.
Helping develop that.
And I look back and, say, thank you, Lord, because I think he graced us in that I don't know that anybody just came along and told you, hey, you got to make sure your kids are leaders and not followers all the time. It's just the grace of God. But the importance of that our children realize, hey, wherever God has placed you, you are there to lead. We're talking about in the home, we're set there to lead. What about in your workplace? Hey, as a Christian, as a believer, God has given you that place. You may hate it. You may detest going into work every day, but God has placed you there as a lead. You make a difference. You set the atmosphere, right? Don't be subject to the atmosphere that you always walk into. And I think our children have to hear that as well. Hey, Mom, Dad, we're the leader in this home. All right. But we're developing you to understand that wherever you go, you can lead too.
Real easy way for anybody to understand that is to realize I think we look at it this way in our homes, we're the thermostat. We're there to set the tone, the atmosphere, the environment. I think that wherever you are, again, that desperate need for leadership, we need some thermostats out there that kind of set the temperature. They set the environment. They're not just subject to it. They're not the thermometer that's just subject to whatever temperature it is. They're actually kind of setting that. They're kind of setting that tone, that atmosphere, that culture, if you can say it that way. So in that, every one of us have that opportunity, right?
Yeah, and we understand that as we lead, always starts at home. As we lead, it won't look like the world. No. It's not going to look like maybe the family, in your neighborhood down the street. It's not going to look the same. And you always, when you think about that, I think you have to go to Romans 12, where it says we just don't conform to everything else, but we're transformed by the renewing of our mind. And what's that come on? That comes from the word of God that's in us. So we lead according to God's word, and we are not drawn into or sucked into the culture that we live in that says you lead this way or you let your kid lead. We don't want to damage them emotionally or any kind of way, because we're not conformed to that. We lead God's way, realizing the importance of the job really that God's given us.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We not only are developing our own lives, but again, there's generations after us. I wanted to get to this quote. It's an Andy Stanley quote. And I wanted to share that. Yeah, it is. I think it's just very simple, but again, what a strong statement, and how true
the truth really of it. Listen, your greatest contribution to the world may not be something you do, but who you raise. That's incredible. I mean, when you think about that as a parent, that's pretty heavy. Listen, we're out. I mean, for lack of another way to say it, I mean, we're out there just busting it every day. We're in the grind. We're trying to, make the money and buy the thing and, leave an inheritance. I'm saying, what about
build a house, buy a car,
a legacy,
buy a boat,
buy all the things.
We set our pace on so many things around us. And again, please hear what we're saying. I'm not saying it's wrong for you to have things or stuff.
That's right. Get you some stuff.
I hope you're building a mansion. I hope you build a great home.
God will bless your life and allow you to have those things. Well,
but the reality is a lot of times we get so focused on that that we lose sight of this main task, and that is that we're raising the next generation.
Yeah.
And again, it's not the things that we're doing all the time that really are going to matter. It really is the generation that we're raising that we're sending into the next generation.
Yeah.
And again, I love that. That's the key. I mean, again, every one of us, we are capable somewhere. And I know there are different types and different dispositions, you know. I know in the church world, a lot of times leaders like to call themselves type A leaders. And I'm like, that's not really a biblical model. If you're a type A leader and you kind of braggadociously throw that out there, I'm just type A, I'm driven, whatever, congratulations. But the reality is you can be very driven and not living to your purposes.
That's so good.
Jesus was driven toward his task, but he didn't do it at the expense of destroying his leadership, his influence. Listen, he's building a team.
Yeah.
People are drawn to him. And again, sometimes I think we fail to realize that all these relationships matter. Our children, you want them to enjoy being around you. You want your family to enjoy being around you. And again, I know that, man, I have to keep myself in check here sometime because I can be very overbearing. I can be very opinionated. But the fact is somewhere or another I have to come back down to the reality of that they matter.
Yes.
That people matter. The people that God has placed in my life. They're of utmost value to the Lord and to the kingdom and all of that. So again, all we're saying is, man, leaders, they don't, again, it's like I heard said before, this great proverb, he that thinks he leads without any followers is only taking a walk.
Yeah.
And I think there are a lot of people that maybe have the title, but there's really nobody around that is striving to follow after, and that's trouble.
I think I want to say it this way: you don't have to lead loud. I say it that way. I think a lot of people, they're just making a lot of noise and think they're just making a lot of ripples, and so they think they're leading. Listen, I think of some of the people in my life that probably had a huge impact on me they were leading, but they were leading very quietly. And what you mean by that? I mean, they were just living it out every day. They didn't have the T-shirt on. They weren't flagging a poster around all the time, but it was just their life. It just was the discipline of their life. It was the humility, or it was the strength that you see in their life. Those people sometimes lead, I think, with the most strength. You were talking about the type A. That's just what came to my mind. It's not always the person that's making the most noise.
Right.
It's just the people that are leading by their life, by the day in, the day out.
Yep. Hey, everybody, you do have an audience out there.
Don't we, though?
There are people that are watching.
Yes.
Maybe you're off in seclusion. Probably not if you listen to this podcast, but again, there are people that are watching. There are people that are listening, even if you're not screaming from the mountains, that there are people.
Your family, your children. I mean, that's what we're focusing on here. They are watching you, and they catch your attitude. They catch your unforgiveness. Come on, they catch your bashing of someone in your speech. Come on, they're catching those things. God, don't help us lead that way, but help us lead in a way like Paul, where we can say, come on, follow me as I follow Christ.
Yeah, it's more than just words you say.
More than words. Yeah. That's what I was saying when not leading loud. It's the actions, because that really speaks louder. We hear that phrase, actions speak louder than words. But the truth in that, the actions that we have, that's what really displays where we're leading.
Sure does.
It's not just what I say.
Yep.
And, in your leading, can I help you out? You're going to have a bad day. You're going to be a bad leader at some point. What do you mean? I mean, you're going to mess it up, right? You're not going to lead in a way that, God would be pleased at. You're not going to lead in a way that you would want your kids to follow. And when that happens, I think one of the greatest things that you can do as a parent, leading in a home, is to be willing to say, I was wrong. Yeah. I messed it up. Don't be a hypocrite. Don't act like you just leading and doing all the thing, and then your kids are seeing.
What it comes down to is what we say: we keep it real.
Yes.
But authenticity is marked over and over
So
again
important.
in the day we're living in, that people are looking for the genuine, the authentic.
That's so true.
You know, there's
especially
so much,
young people.
There's so much out here. There's so much information. There's so much fake news. Sorry,
Yes.
I had to throw that in there. That people are looking for what's true. They're looking for what's real and genuine and authentic. And I think that's something that, again, we desperately need authentic leaders, not playing the hypocrite, not a play actor, you know, but actually being the man
Real.
or woman that you're supposed to be.
Yes.
And being worthy of followership.
That's so good. Yeah. Just being, listen, kids see through fake. Young
Always.
people see through fake. Young adults see through fake quicker than anybody else.
Yep.
You know, you might can pull the wool over a 40-something's eyes for just a little bit, but a kid is going to see straight through. So there's no need in lying to yourself and lying to them.
Yeah, and this last piece we got to finish.
Yeah, you kind of hit this at the beginning. So important.
I think that every one of us need a sense of conviction.
Yes.
That we, and can I say it this way? There's just a steadiness.
Unchanging.
You know, people know who we are.
Yes.
There's a consistency. Can I say it that way?
Good
but
word,
we're
yeah.
grounded in who we are. We know our who we are identity-wise.
Yes.
We know who we are when it comes to God's word. And in that, man, we live out this thing with just a stability and
You're just not changing with every wind.
Right.
You know, there's some maturity in your life. You've grown. And even when others, even when society doesn't understand why you lead the way you lead, you're not conformed by that, but you stand immovable and lead the way God's instructed you to lead.
Yep. So with home, who leads yours? Who's leading?
Who's the leader of the pack?
The cry is for leaders. And we're asking moms and dads, grandparents, aunts and uncles, even further along teenagers. Who's leading? A leader.
That's right.
Be a difference maker. And,
everywhere you go, right?
Yeah, it should.
Start at home, but everywhere you go.
Yeah, it should be you. Who? You. And so again, we're encouraging that. Hey, always remember, your home matters so much.
Yes, man, we love you so much. Thank you for tuning in.
Share the podcast.
Yeah, follow us
Always.
on social media.
And we'll see you
Home
next
Matters.
time.
Bless you. Bye-bye.